3 in a long time, you should really try the new one. So steady improvements. And we're very far along on our next generation low-cost vehicle. This is an earnings call, not a product announcement. So there'll no doubt be many questions that try to ask us about new products coming, but if we reserve product announcements for product announcements, not earnings calls.
Literally nailed that.
But we're very excited about this, and this is really going to be profound, not just in its design of the vehicle itself, but in the design of the manufacturing system. This is a revolutionary manufacturing system, significant, far more advanced than any other automotive manufacturing system in the world, like by a significant margin. Several years ago, I said perhaps the most important competitive characteristic of Tesla in the future will be manufacturing technology, and you will really see that come to bear with our next-gen vehicle. The first manufacturing location for this will be out of the Gigafactory and headquarters in Austin, Texas, and then we'll follow that up with other locations around the world. Probably the factory we'll build in Mexico will be second, and then we'll be looking to identify a third location, perhaps by the end of this year or early next, outside North America. In conclusion, we had a great year with record production, record deliveries, and a strong free cash flow in spite of a very high interest rate environment. And we are focused on exciting new projects that will, I think ultimately, if we execute on all these things, and it is very hard to do all these things, it's not a sure thing, but I do see a path where Tesla can one day be the most valuable company in the world. I want to emphasize that is not an easy path, a very difficult one, but it is now a set of possible outcomes. And previously, I would not have thought it is a set of possible outcomes. So, thank you again to all of our investors, our employees, and our suppliers for a strong year. I'm looking forward to a great 2024 and years to come. Thank you.
Okay, Tesla.
Thank you. And our CFO, Vaibhav, has some opening remarks as well.
Thanks, Martin. Good afternoon, everyone. As Elon mentioned, we had a record year in terms of both production and deliveries for our auto business, as well as record deployments in our energy business. This was achieved despite 2023 being a challenging year in terms of high interest rates and high inflation. Big thanks to our customer for being with us through this challenging period. I would also like to thank the whole Tesla team for their resolve and dedication throughout. In terms of 2023 financials, we ended the year with over 96 billion of revenue and generated 4.4 billion of free cash flow to end the year with over 29 billion of cash and investments on hand. Our 2023 GAAP net income was impacted by the recognition of one-time non-cash benefit of 5.9 billion from the release of valuation allowance on certain deferred tax assets. This was due to our recent history of sustained profitability and is similar to several other companies who have recently gone through a similar change in their account. Accordingly, starting with Q1, our book tax rate will now be more in line with other companies in the S&P 500. In our vehicle business, we continue to see improvements in our per unit costs despite us being in the early phase of Cybertruck ramp. As a result, our auto gross margin improved sequentially. That said, predicting auto gross margins is extremely challenging since there are many moving parts to this equation, some of which are out of our control, like the change in tariffs or local incentives, to name a few. While the teams are focused on cost reductions, we are approaching the limits within our current platforms. On the demand front, as promised, we made investments in digital campaigns in 2023. We fully appreciate the importance of customer education as we are still in a customer acquisition phase. Our data suggests that around 90% of our vehicle buyers in 2023 never owned a Tesla before. We are being creative in figuring out ways to bring in new customers and educate them about the benefits of owning a Tesla versus gas-powered vehicles. The key among them being total cost of ownership. This concept is mostly overlooked for just the upfront cost. We will be rigorous in evaluating our campaigns, curating the content, and optimizing spend accordingly to support the overall demand. There are two additional things I would like to mention as it relates to the US market. First, for customers who qualify for the IRA buyer credit, We now offer that as a point of sale benefit for Model Y, which means an immediate reduction of $7,500 at the time of purchase to the end customer. Secondly, we continue to offer very attractive lease rates for Model 3 and Y using our partner leasing program. Note that the sales under this program are recognized as upfront revenue and reported within automotive sales. Our energy storage business had another record year with deployments more than doubling and revenues increasing by more than 50%. This business is poised to again surpass our auto business in terms of growth rate in 2024. This has been in the works for quite some time, with us laying the foundation a few years back by building our mega factory in Batesville. I would like to thank the whole Tesla Energy team for their efforts to make this a reality. Our services and others business also started contributing meaningfully to our results and our fleets as our fleet goes, as we expect the fleet-based revenues from supercharging, used cars, and services to continue to increase. For 2024, our focus is to continue growing our output, continuing our cost reduction efforts, and increasing investments in our future growth initiatives. Accordingly, we are currently expecting our capital expenditure for 2024 to be in excess of $10 billion. We believe this would be
2.5 a quarter.
The foundation for the next phase of growth. Once again, I would like to thank everybody at Tesla, our investors, and our suppliers for being with us in this journey. We can open it up to questions, Martin.
Thank you. Let's go through investor questions. Question number one is from Michael. Given that you moved the start of the next generation compact vehicle production to Austin, has the timeline improved so that we might see the next generation platform vehicles in 2025?
I mean, I'm certainly say things with that should be taken with a grain of salt. Since I'm often optimistic, but I don't want to blow your minds, but I'm often optimistic regarding time. But our current schedule says that we will start production towards the end of 2025, so sometime in the second half. That's just what our current schedule says. There's a lot of new technology, like tremendous amount of new revolutionary manufacturing technology here. The reason I'm going to put this new revolutionary manufacturing line at Giga Texas was because we really need the engineers to be living on the line. This is not sort of a off the shelf, just works type of thing. It's just a lot easier for Tesla engineering to live on the line if it's in Austin versus elsewhere. So, but we are currently expecting to start production second half next year. That will be a challenging production ramp. Like as a captain says, we'll be sleeping on line practically, and not practically, we will be.
That was Mikey's bingo card, sleeping on the line.
Confident that once it is going, it will be head and shoulders above any other manufacturing technology that exists anywhere in the world. It's next level. So it's always difficult to predict what that S-curve of manufacturing looks like. So it always starts off real slow, and then it grows exponentially. And predicting that intermediate S-curve is difficult, but so I don't know. It's hard to say what the unit volume would be next year. We're not going to make any predictions on that front, but it does seem quite likely that we'll start production next year.
Thank you. The next question is from Michael again. What has been the barrier to ramping 4680 cells into multi-million cells per week rate, and when do you expect to get there? Drew?
Yeah, first I just want to allay any concerns regarding 4680 limiting the Cybertruck ramp, because I've seen some people commenting about that. To date, 4680 production is ahead of the ramp with actually weeks of finished cell inventory, and the goal is to keep it that way, not only for Cyber, but for our future vehicle programs. And as Elon said, it is an S-curve here too. Like it's hard to predict these things, but I'm just describing our goals.
It's a hard problem. Like,
yeah,
there are entire companies where all they do is make battery cells. That's like all they do.
Indeed.
We do a lot of other things, and we got a lot of breakthrough technologies that take time to figure out. With 46, it's not just that it's a 46 millimeter diameter by 80 millimeter cold cell. That's just the diameter. That's just the dimensions. There's a tremendous amount of new technology in the cell itself.
And manufacturing technology.
Yeah, exactly.
And just regarding what the team was able to do in Q4, Texas successfully swapped line 1 from the Model Y design of the cell to the Cybertruck design of the cell, which was the 10% cell energy increase I mentioned before. And as with any major new product introduction, the factory and engineering teams collaborated to ensure quality of the new design and the process changes as their first priority. And now our focus returns to cost and production ramp in Q1. In terms of what we're doing, we're currently running 1 production line, 1 assembly line, using 2 assembly lines in addition for yield and rate improvement trials. And we have a 4th in commissioning, and 4 more will be installed starting in Q3 this year. So definitely this is a big year for ramping 4680.
But we also do want to emphasize that we also expect to ramp orders from our suppliers.
Yep.
So this is not about replacing our suppliers, it's about supplementing our suppliers.
Yes.
So we are very appreciative of our suppliers. Panasonic obviously is our longest supplier. They're an amazing company. We've got CATL, we've got LG, and BYD. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from Adam. Should retail shareholders be concerned that Elon has stated that he's uncomfortable expanding AI and robotics at Tesla if he doesn't have 25% of voting?
Here we go.
Yeah, I guess let me explain what my concern is here, which is that I see a path to creating an artificial intelligence and robotics juggernaut of truly immense capability and power. And my concern would be, I don't want to control it, but if I have so little influence over the company at that stage, that I could sort of be voted out by some sort of random shareholder advisory firm. We've had a lot of challenges with institutional shareholder services, ISS, I call them ISS.
Doing my dreads. Listening.
And Glasgow's, which there's a lot of activists that
Thank you.
infiltrate those organizations and have, strange
Appreciate
ideas
the
about what
love.
should be done. So,
Come esta.
Hello.
Hola,
So
come
I
esta. I like that. How you doing?
Enough to be influential. If we could do a dual class stock, that would be ideal. I'm not looking for additional economics. I just want to be an effective steward of very powerful technology. The reason I just sort of roughly picked approximately 25% was that's not so much that I can control the company, even if I go bonkers. And if I'm like mad, then a strong influence but not control.
Okay.
If there's some way to achieve that would be great.
We like that, Elon.
Thank you. The next question is, what is your expectation for automotive gross margin ex regulatory credits for the full year?
Like I said in my opening remarks, we're focused on reducing the cost of our vehicles. This is a very extensive and involved exercise whereby we look at not just the component cost down to the packaging used to get the materials to the production floor. Each element of the cost is scrutinized to optimize further. A few pennies saved at the subcomponent level, whether through engineering redesign or from many other things which I mentioned, leads to cost reduction. This is a constant exercise and we just have to chase down every penny possible. We have a strong team which is hyper-focused on this. However, this is a very difficult thing to predict precisely because there are a lot
We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball, so it's difficult for us to predict this with precision. If the interest rates come down quickly, I think margins will be
Better.
good, and if they don't come down quickly, they won't be that good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Margins need to
It's
come
just
down.
important to remember that the vast majority of people buying a car is about the monthly payment. It's not that people don't want it. We have tons of we have lots of people who want to buy a car but simply cannot afford it.
Right.
And so, and that, as interest rates drop and that monthly payment drops, then they're able to afford it and they buy the car. It's pretty straightforward.
Right.
And there are no tricks around to get around this.
We will buy a Tesla.
Okay, thank you.
The rates got
question is,
dropped.
does the company anticipate 50% volume CAGR to be realized in either 2024 or 2025? If not, why not?
No.
As we have said in our prior guidance, there will be periods where we won't be growing at the same rate as before. We are between two major growth waves. The first one began with the global expansion of Model 3 and Y. And we believe the next one will be initiated with the next generation platform. In 2024, our volume growth will be lower, as we have said, because we're trying to focus the team on
Lower than what?
vehicle.
All right, thank you very much. The next question is from Michael. When will Tesla start construction on the Giga Nevada expansion and Giga Mexico? And when can we expect each of these to produce their first products, such as 4680 cells, semi, and the next gen vehicles?
We have recently broken ground for the next phase of Giga Nevada expansion to incorporate semi and other projects. But as said earlier, as regarding Mexico, we want to first demonstrate success with the next generation platform in Austin before we start construction. Therefore, we have started the long lead work to get the basics ready and plan to follow our recipe from the 3Y ramp with Shanghai, where we started with learnings from Fremont and ramped really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to emphasize that, Model 3 production was 3 years without, for some of the really worst years of my life, frankly. I still have mental scar tissue from those 3 years, as do many. But then, and the Model Y was, somewhat of a variant on Model 3, so a much easier situation. And then we were able to actually do slightly improved versions of, in some cases, significantly improved versions of the Model Y production line in Shanghai and Berlin. And that's the right. I think the sensible way to go about things is kind of figure out the core technology of the manufacturing line and then replicate it with improvements throughout the world.
Thank you. The next question from Michael is, has there been any progress made with an FSD licensing agreement with another company?
I really think lots of car companies should be asking for FSD licenses, but and we've had some tentative conversations, but I think they don't believe it's real quite yet. I think that will become obvious probably this year. And I do want to emphasize that if I were CEO of another car company, I would definitely be calling Tesla and asking to license Tesla Full Self-Driving technology. It's definitely the smart move.
Thank you. The next question from Siddharth.
Definitely a smart
What is the timeline
move.
for Optimus' first production of a volume production line, and what are the barriers to getting there?
Optimus obviously is a very new product, an extremely revolutionary product, and something that I think has the potential to far exceed the value of everything else that Tesla combined. And when you think of an economy is productivity per capita times capita. But what if there's no limit to capita? There's no limit to the economy. And the technologies the AI technologies we've developed for the car translate quite well to a humanoid robot, because the car is just a robot on 4 wheels. And Tesla is arguably already the biggest robot maker in the world. It's just a 4-wheel robot.
Okay.
So Optimus is a humanoid robot with arms and legs. It's by far the most sophisticated humanoid robot that's being developed anywhere in the world. I think we've got a pretty good chance of shipping some number of Optimus units next year. But like I said, this is a brand new product. A lot of uncertainty. So when there's a lot of uncertainty and you're uncharted territory, it's obviously impossible to make a precise prediction. But we will be updating the public with progress on Optimus every few months, and you can see that it's advancing very quickly. I was just in the Optimus lab actually.
Thank you.
Until late last night, until like midnight or something. I finally left the Optimus lab. Optimus is safe, especially at scale, and that it should be impossible for any centralized control to upload malware to a humanoid robot. So we're gonna want to build in localized shuttle that cannot be updated from a central server. That's the case where we really have to give extreme thought to safety. But like I said, I do think it has the potential to be the most valuable product of any kind ever. By far.
By far. Better get your Tesla.
I think the barrier, and we've talked about this, is like getting it to actually do something useful. Like we can just go walk around and get it to do things, but it's like that utility part.
You can already do some useful things.
But like,
Yeah.
by making millions of these things, it's like utility. Gotta get the utility out.
Yeah. A smart robot that can that's capable of doing generalized tasks is what it will be. And in terms of doing, moderately specialized tasks, well, it can already do that, and it'll just get better through the course of the year. As we improve the technology in the car, we improve the technology in Optimus at the same time. It runs the same AI inference computer that's on the car.
Yeah.
Same training technology. We're really building the future.
Definitely.
The Optimus lab looks like the set of Westworld. But admittedly, that was not a super utopian situation.
Is that not the best reference?
Yeah, the creators of Westworld, Jonah Nolan, at least Jonah Nolan, all friends of mine actually, and I invited them to come see the lab. I think we'll come see it hopefully soon. It's pretty wild, especially the sort of subsystem test stands where you just got like one leg on a test stand, just doing repetitive exercises, and one arm on a test stand. Pretty wild. Yeah.
We're not entering Westworld anytime soon.
Right. Can't take safety very seriously.
Thank you. The next question from Nermin is, how many Cybertruck orders are in the queue, and when do you anticipate to be able to fulfill existing orders?
Okay. There you go.
First of all, I want to thank all of the Cybertruck resident holders for their patience. The resolution to order conversion rate so far has been very, very encouraging. If the trend continues, as it's very likely to be, we will soon sort out all of those in 2024. And also, we have new orders coming after the launch. The order numbers keep growing. So we're now all hands on deck focused on ramping, so we can fulfill all the demands in a reduced wait time.
Yeah, it's important to emphasize that this is very much a production constrained situation, not a demand constrained situation. And we, obviously we could dramatically raise the price, but that doesn't feel right to us to gouge people for early delivery. But really the demand is off the hook. As long as the price is affordable, I see us ultimately delivering on order of a quarter million, something like a quarter million Cybertrucks a year in North America. But maybe more, but give or take, roughly on that time frame. And it's I mean, it sure is a head turner.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, people look at you.
Yeah.
They give you thumbs up.
Yeah, it's like funny that the future looks like the future.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that you know, for the other trucks on the road there's some very good trucks on the road, but if you were to switch out the brand name, you wouldn't hardly know which company made it, because you definitely would know the
Who
stuff.
Tesla? Definitely would.
That's our best product ever.
Mm.
All right, thank you. The next question is, can we get
Yeah, I
Tesla
heard
engine
that.
volumes
By far the
reported
best
in
product
production
ever.
delivery release?
Yeah, we will strive to do so starting from this quarter. And just a brief update from the business perspective. Megapack continues to see strong demand signals globally, driving consistent growth trajectory through 24 and 25. We want to thank all of our partners who put their trust in the Megapack team to execute on critical infrastructure around the world. And I would like to personally thank the Megapack engineering and production teams for their strong 2023 execution. Lathrop continues to ramp through 2024 with the operation of a second final assembly line to double capacity from 20 to 40 gigawatt hours by the end of the year.
Thank you. And the last investor question is from Siddharth. What are the preliminary results on return on investment of your ads and education campaign? Given that many people still lack awareness that Tesla average price is less than the average non-luxury car price of $45,000, will you expand educational ads?
Oh, nice.
As Elon mentioned, the ultimate solution to increase EV adoption is really address the affordability issue. But at the same time, we do aware there's an awareness issue as well. So in Q4, we ran a series of digital campaigns, very targeted digital campaigns across different geos and different channels. The target of these tests is really just to drive awareness and ultimately measure the return on investment on those digital channels. The messaging we're driving is really focused on our product and also try to address some of the misconceptions of the EV, such as safety, affordability. In one particular awareness campaign we run in Texas, we reached the audience about 10 million unique viewers and generated close to 500,000 visits to our website. A large number of these viewers are first-time visitors to our website. The traffic through these digital channels actually behave very similar to those organic traffic come to our website. So going forward, we're just going to keep exploring different channels and different trials to get a better understanding of the effectiveness of these digital campaigns.
But I would like to caution
That's
that
long.
we will be very careful.
Probably put it at the top and
We
then
don't
cut
want to
them.
overspend on
Because
this
they
side.
different sizes.
We want to make sure people are aware, but that's where we keep tweaking our methodology about how and where we spend the money. Because we understand the benefits of increasing awareness, but at the same token, we don't want to spend a lot of money on just creating awareness.
Yeah, I mean, there are some geographies where our market share is remarkably low, like Japan, for example. Now we also need to make sure that we have superchargers in the right locations, and the service centers are there, and the product works well in Japan. But Japan is the third largest car market in the world,
Nice.
of any country. So, and we should at least have a market share proportionate to, say, other non-Japanese car makers like Mercedes or BMW, which we do not currently have. So I think that's the case. And when I talk to friends of mine in Japan, they're like, there is like quite a lack of awareness of Tesla. So you know, that's the case where we definitely need to increase awareness in countries and regions where there is not that much awareness.
Thank you. Let's go to analyst questions. The first question comes from Pierre Ferragu from New Street Research.
There he is.
Pierre, go ahead, please. Feel free to unmute.
Pierre fell asleep. He's usually pretty good too.
Pierre, can you hear us? Okay. Wow, it's really tough to find the unmute button on Teams, guys. I'm sorry for being late. So yes, my question would be, on like the cost reduction, you've talked about it already a lot. And if I look at it over the last like 5-6 quarters on average, the COGS per car has been coming down like more than 2% sequentially on average. So that means you're like on a trajectory of COGS per car going down 10% a year. So that's probably like unheard of in the auto industry. I don't think any car manufacturer ever achieved that. But that's very, very mundane and it's a good performance, but it's a very normal performance in a lot of other manufacturing industry like microelectronics or consumer electronics. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts about whether you consider yourself closer to the latter, to like a microelectronics business where you have this ability to actually always improve costs, you have more control of how things are put together into your cars, and you see yourself sustainably taking costs down with that kind of pace, or do you think that your ability to take down costs is actually going to become more?
But we gotta pick up beauty
industry over time.
Yeah, I think I covered this in a pretty
Baby!
detail, even in my opening remarks and in the previous question, but to just further clarify, we are constantly looking for
We gotta pick up
we can do
beauty.
to reduce costs. But like I said, it's a game of pennies. We've talked about it before as well. And the team is